Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Player X,
and the Lone Wolf.
and we together are the Semi-Limited Podcast.
Yay.
Yo. This time we actually have Dylan with us today instead of like last week when he left us to go camp out in the woods and go shit in the woods with bears or whatever he was doing.
No, I was
hanging around man, bear, pig.
I was stepping on tent stakes and impaling my foot.
Oh yeah, you were just impaling your foot is what you were doing.
like
a stupid moron.
Like a big old idiot head, yeah.
Well, before we start the show, we just want to say that we appreciate all of our supporters, all of you guys tuning in, listening to the podcast, sharing all the links, following all the social sites. We appreciate all that love. Today's episode is going to be jam-packed. We're going to be talking about things like the 51st Stock Holder Meeting that happened in OCG. We're going to be talking about some of the new DUNE releases and what it's going to do to the format, as well as the DUNE sneak peek that we participated in over at Unplugged Gaming. So before we get into all that, though, let's get all the shout outs out the way. So be sure to go down in that description box below and click that Linktree link and go follow our Twitter and our TikTok and our YouTube and our Facebook and all those other social sites. When we have 50 Twitter followers, we will be doing a giveaway. When we have 50 TikTok followers, we will be doing a giveaway.
Hold on. Twitter is now called X. I don't know if you're caught up with everything, but and tweets will now be called X's or something like that. I don't know if
X's,
we're all
no
on
way.
Elon.
Are you being for real?
Well, that's what Elon said. Okay,
that's what Elon.
She's just an owner.
X now. Yeah, well, you guys heard it. You better go follow us on X.
So yeah.
That just sounds bad even saying. But go follow us. When we reach the 50 followers on each platform, we're going to be doing a giveaway. And we also have a very special DUNE box to give away to one lucky Twitter follower. So make sure you are following us because we're not going to give it away to someone who's not supporting. And all you have to do is retweet that post, and we're going to enter you in for the winner of DUNE box. And Dylan will not be entering because he will not be winning. Speaking of which, shout out to our sponsor Unplugged Gaming in Manlius, New York for giving us not only these special giveaways for you guys, but also hosting a location to do all of the fun things we'd like to do. So be sure to go check out their Discord server in the description box below. You can join their Discord, start talking about all the crazy TCGs they got going on, One Piece, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, of course, the superior game of all. And then you can go down there and interact with everyone who's in store, out of store, in the staff, Joe himself.
Yeah.
So shout out to everyone.
If you need to talk to me about One Piece, I am the reigning defending store champion.
He lost to some guy in Herkimer. He lost to some Herkimer guy.
That's a tabletop gaming.
Yeah, no, he got washed up. He went out to go sail the seas and did not come back.
Hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
It's not 100%. 66 is a failing grade. 6 is a failing grade. 70% or better, baby.
I got 400.
But so make sure to go down there in that description box below and follow them over at Unplugged. Speaking of Unplugged, we did have our sneak peek over there for the DUNE format, Dueling Nexus, for those who are unaware. I think it's the 22nd. So we basically had a big giant tournament. We gave out a whole bunch of prizes, like the banners, the mats, the promo cards. We had a whole bunch of kits. We were selling boxes out the wazoo. It was crazy. So we had a great time. Shout out to everyone who showed up. We had, I think, 16 players overall enter, and then we had swept to a top 8. The top 8 was as followed. We had 2 branded players. We had a Makanko, a Rescue Ace, a Sword Soul, a Sprite Melfi, a Trap Tricks, and 1 Vanquish Souls. The top 4 breakdown was the 2 branded players, the Vanquish Souls, and then Trap Tricks. And then a whole bunch of die rolls later, we wind up coming out with our winner of AJ, who was playing the Vanquish Soul deck. So congratulations to AJ for winning it all. He got the mat, he got the banner, he got the promo card. So he was really decked out walking out of that event. So it was a fun time. I definitely had enjoyed myself. Everyone said they had a blast. Joe bought pizza for everyone. So it was a great time. So make sure the next time we have an event out there over at Unplugged, that you guys stop out and have a little bit more fun with us.
Let us know the next event you want us to host, whether that be a Edison Time Wizard format, anything, as long as they're down or down to clown.
That's right. 3v3 tag team case tournament, whatever you guys want, let us know. and we will accommodate. And getting into the episode today, without any further ado, I want to introduce our special guest, all the way out of YouTube land. I met this cat back when he had about, I think, 600 to 700 followers or something like that. And I've always followed the wholesome channels. I always like to make sure I watch the little guy grow. And this guy has definitely flourished into his own entity on YouTube. So give it up for our boy, Akemi TCG.
Woo.
What is up, guys? It's Akemi TCG here. Woo!
That's right. Have you have any shout outs or any plugins you want to talk about or preach before we start today's episode?
Yeah, sure. So shout out to all of my homeboys back in Quincy, Mass at Alpha Omega. You know, without them, I couldn't have started doing all these skits and coming up with all of these ideas for skits. So big shout out to all of them. And also big shout out to every single person that's followed from the beginning all the way up to the new followers. I wouldn't be here without you guys.
Absolutely. So briefly talking about your YouTube page, because some people may or may not know you. Like if you have looked at his YouTube page anytime recently, you notice that my man here was making the blowout YouTube shorts. He was making a whole bunch of memes, comedy skits, things that you see at your locals, how people be like. It was insane. Like the amount of just work that you just saw this man just drop, going from absolutely 0 to just 110 in such a short amount of time. Like, did you want to like talk or like explain about how like a general skit comes about? Because I know you shouted out your locals. Do they help you with ideas and like actually coming up with the scripts and stuff to say, or is that like just all you?
Yeah, so it's actually kind of funny how all of this started. So in January of this year, I was at roughly 4K from just uploading general content. And I went to my locals one day. I thought about a skit while I was at work, and I'm like, bro, we got to do this skit. I think it'd be so funny that if you just go pot of duality, you hit 3 prosperity, you activate prosperity, you still hit the dualities, and you're still catching L's because you reveal the shifter. And then all of a sudden, the last card, I'm like, you know what? Just put in a random card. Keep it like, get a really stupid card. Some dude was like, just pull out an Alistair. That's fine. So he pulled out the Alistair, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be ridiculous because I haven't seen many players dive into the sphere of like competitive but funny Yu-Gi-Oh content or meme Yu-Gi-Oh content. Like it's a lot of general stuff, like Team APS, Team Sam, all those guys. They make very general stuff, which makes sense, right? Because you have a wide net.
Yeah, exactly.
But I wanted to hit that specific niche that was like uncharted territory. And basically, after the first video blew up, I just kept thinking of more ideas. But most of the skits, like 95% of the skits, I think about and come up with while I'm in the shower. But I just pinpoint the people at locals that would be the right fit to make the skits. So I pretty much do all the filming, the editing, and the script writing as well. And we just keep doing it every week. So it's been growing, and I don't know what happened, but I guess people think it's funny.
Would you say that you've made skits around certain people at your locals, or would you more find people at your locals who kind of more blend with the skit you're trying to bring about?
So it's more of like all of the locals I've been to for like the past 3 or 4 years. You notice there's different types of people and there's different scenarios. So I don't make them specifically for like, oh, this one person fits this narrative perfectly. But it's more like a mixture of these scenarios with a little bit of a twist, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I like doing comedy skits, and I made a couple vines back in the day. I'm showing my age right quick, but I've always wanted to do Yu-Gi-Oh skits, and it seemed like something that would be like rewarding in the ability to get your funny idea across to other players who could generally connect to that by like activating a duality and revealing 3 prosperity. Like that's happened to me at locals before, like something like that. So that's just funny. Like I connect with it to be like, damn, and like the inner monologues you be having sometimes, it's just funny as fuck because like I really do be connecting with them shits. Like wow, he's just better than me. He really opened that shit. Like when you Nibiru tribute away everything, Dylan, there was a skit where he had said, yeah, I'm going to Nibiru. He said it tributes everything. And he looked at his mat and all of his cards were gone. He goes, wait, where'd my cards go? He goes, yeah, Nibiru tributes everything. And he looked back down, his game mat was gone. He goes, wait, what are you talking? What's going on here? He goes, no, Nibiru tributes everything. And his clothes were gone, bro. It was so funny. It was hilarious. And it's things like that was just like, all right, well, the execution is what really, really matters, and you execute very, very well. Do you like use like professional cameras or something like that, or is it just like a phone and YouTube editor?
All right, this is gonna sound wicked backwards. I'm not gonna lie. So, when I started my channel, when I really wanted to take off, like back when you started subscribing to me, I used a professional camera. So I bought like a mirrorless camera, bought all the equipment, the whole 9 yards. But with the skits, I just use my phone camera. So I just have a Pixel 6.
Mhm.
And in terms of editing, I still use All Reliable, which is Sony Vegas. That's like a fossil program for like 15 years ago, and I still use it because I've been using it.
It's all you
growing up.
know. It's all I ever known.
That's all I know. All these cool kids have like Adobe Premiere Pro on their phone. They have CapCut. They edit on TikTok. I can never edit on my phone, so
Yeah.
I have to do it old
I have
style,
OpenShot.
old school on computer.
You know what I'm saying? So
I don't even know what that is.
yeah, I'm showing age with that again. Yeah. Shout out to Antonio. He definitely put me onto that one. No, but I can understand that, and they definitely seem to have landing as well. So congratulations too. Like the like I said, the amount of growth. Like I think I was speaking with GGYGO last time when we were talking that and the importance of things like TikTok Reels for Instagram, Shorts for YouTube is almost astronomical for Yu-Gi-Oh players because we are such a niche of a niche. So to get anywhere, we kind of need those advantages where that humorous skit where someone's gonna see that, laugh, and then send it to like 2 of their friends. Like, damn, this is me at locals, or this is yada yada. You know, at locals, this is such and such. Like all that actually helps. So because I've seen you throughout for people who don't know, I've seen him at like regionals. We've seen him pull up to Buffalo and other places and whatnot. He was at nationals. We made sure to snag a picture. So I've always seen this guy around, but I just wanted to make sure that I reached out and got him on because you know he's definitely been putting in the work, and I wanted to give him a platform to give him a little bit of praise. So
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
yeah, absolutely, no, for sure.
It's been a crazy, what was it, 6-month journey. So we take those.
Dylan, you got anything?
No. we're
Any
not
questions, anything like that?
going. No, that's hilarious.
He's like, yeah, what's your favorite deck? Actually, he's like he's a flute player. I'm saying, call gang.
Natsao is playing Rika's. The bird thing's 100% a meme. Like
Rabina, yeah. I remember you walking around with
100% a
a
meme,
picture of Rabina too, just getting people's reactions.
it was at YCS LA.
Was it LA? Okay, I
Yeah,
remember that
I was
one.
holding around like a giant Robina and harassing people with it. I would go up to like Sam from Team Sam and just hold up the picture of Robina and not say a single word to him, and he just gets wicked confused and flustered. And it's so funny.
Were you like telling these people you were doing that, or you were just candidly walking up and doing it?
No, it was candid. I wasn't telling anybody this.
Oh, that's the best. That's the best. That's what I like.
I went into the toilet, the men's restroom. I put a Robina, slid it under one of the doors, and the guy was like, "Chain Ash."
He knew.
Goofy
He
ass.
slides back out of Ash, fucking piece of paper and shit.
Just smeared with shit. Who would you say is your favorite person, or like the most, I would say, impactful person that you've worked with on these skits? Because I've seen you, I think, make skits with Milano as well, and I'm a big fan, low key, of Milano the Duelist. He's a real funny guy as well. I like these like funny duelists who know how to bring humor into the game.
I've only done skits, like other skits with just Milano, besides like obviously my local group.
Mhm.
So I would say my local group, but Milano's a super down to earth, wicked funny guy.
Yeah, I gotta get
Like
my
how I
hands on
collab
him.
with him is that right. All I did was I DM'd him on Twitter, and I was like, "Yo, you want to do a skit together?" All he said was, "Run it, duelist."
Run it, duelist.
And then we just met up, and then we just did the skit. I wrote the script out and everything. I'm like, "All right, here's the lines you say. Here's the lines I say. We just run it." And he was a wicked down to earth, chill guy. Like,
That's the shit I like.
10 out of 10, awesome guy.
And I love to hear that there's a lot of genuine duelists around. I give a lot of praise to GGYGO. I give a lot of praise to duelists like Winner Kills, who are just genuine people all around and just like to uplift the people outside of the game as well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they'll do things like comedy skits or invest their time into showing someone how to edit or showing someone how to play, for example, or showing them, you know, better moves and whatnot. So it's always better, I think, to have people who are like that in the community to allow others who are newer to have someone that they can like kind of like lily pad jump their way to a higher level, you know? So like, cause like it takes people like Milano to helping out, you know, the little guy such as yourself at that point for you to get to a big guy status, for then you to help out another little guy, for them to get to a big boy status, and then for them to help out, you know, and the cycle goes on and continues. So at least in my eyes, the way I look at it.
Right, exactly. I feel like every single upper level like YouTuber I've talked to, even on the surface level, have been so genuine, so kind, that it's really heartwarming to see that the community is just, you know, full of a lot of good people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. So just getting into the episode, I guess today, for those who haven't heard, over the last month, the 51st stockholder meeting for Konami, at least the OCG aspect of it, the Japan aspect, was held, and it was a little eye-opening to some people over here at the TCG. Although a lot of it doesn't translate over, we're assuming. They discussed that new players who were entering the card game was at a dramatic drop, and that the streams have declined in views over time. And a lot of these issues were being brought up to the president, who then in turn kind of gave a very, very dry, you know, cookie cutter answer of, yeah, we hear your problems. Yeah, we're working on it. We'll let you know when it's fixed type deal. So, but these people were actually bringing up very genuine concerns. Like, it's not, I'd be forgetting a lot of the times just because I'm in the TCG, how there is a very big disconnect between the TCG and the OCG. And like, even with the style of players, the formats that you're able to like play in, the card pool, rulings, like a lot of the differences are very minor at surface, but when you take all those differences and add them up, it kind of makes a big difference. So to hear that they're having problems with getting new players entering doesn't really necessarily surprise me, because it is a complex game in my opinion. But it's just that fact that they didn't really acknowledge or care too much, or maybe the response didn't have as much hope in it that they wanted, or even I wanted. But that just seems like they didn't really have too much of an answer for that, which was very, very shocking in my eyes. But I don't know if you guys have heard of it or would like to express your ideas over what happened at the 51st stockholder meeting.
It'd be interesting to see like pre-COVID numbers to post-COVID numbers, because over here, you know, we had that huge like the plus of players and collectors. Like, you just couldn't get cards on the shelf during like the pandemic. So I wonder if this is off of, you know, that's what I'm trying to get to, if it's off of post like COVID decline.
Right, because Master Duel has a lot to do with that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly.
Because the Master Duel definitely pulled.
I know like 10 guys from my high school hit me up. They're like, yo, you play Master Duel? Because they know I play Yu-Gi-Oh! And you know, they'd come on with like the Dark Magician decks or like an old school deck, and you just start doing all these crazy combos on them. That could be it too. Just a shock factor.
Retaining new players who come in off of Master Duel is dropping dramatically. So the people who are playing Master Duel will play Master Duel and then try to pick up the TCG card game or the OCG card game in this instance, and not keep it or not like it or not take to it, and then stop collecting the cards. Like, they'll just stop playing the game.
Oh, okay. So they're like, where the Max C? Where's my Max C?
Well, I mean, like, card pool definitely does have something to do with it, and that's why I don't really play personally Master Duel myself. I don't know about Kimmy, if you're a Master Duel player.
Yeah, I was for like 2 months, and then
Yeah, see,
I got Rongo.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that would deter me too. You know what I'm saying? I was playing Cyber Dragon at the time, but like once people like got to the level where they had Maxi and they were abusing it, it was like, all right, I don't need to be playing OCG style. I can be playing TCG and actually practice in irrelevance to my, you know, region. So, but like I said, this is all for OCG. So like, what do you think, Akemi?
I'm pretty sure that was just a band-aid answer for just legal and also to save face. But to be really honest, it's so interesting, right? That in TCG, you can surrender, you can use the time rolls to your advantage if you like, but in OCG that you can't. But Master Duel is technically OCG format, but you can surrender in Master Duel. So I don't see why they don't want to implement surrendering in the OCG, especially when, you know, let's say like if you play Prank Kids, right? They can combo for like 20 minutes straight without really doing anything and just run down the clock. And it's just not fun for your opponent, not fun for anybody watching. It's just not fun for anyone, to be honest.
No,
So,
I agree. I think that they should have unanimous rule with that. Like, the every player should be able to scoop. Yeah, even if the game is 5 minutes and like, let's just say I brick and as a plunder player and I pass and I just get shit on, and then all right, game 2 I brick and then I get shit on. Like, all right, that's just a game. But like, I'd rather watch that than sit there and watch someone who is clearly not trying to play, just try to play out a game that is clearly unplayable or unwinnable. Like, that just makes the player look bad in my instance. Like, imagine knowing you're in a losing situation and then having to like play everything out, still lose that turn, and then have to pass your turn for your opponent to still combo and then try to kill you. Like, that just would infuriate me, you know? So I would rather just scoop it and go to a game where I'm in more control. I have more utilization of my extra deck. I'm not wasting time, as you said, using the time to my advantage. So yeah, I can agree 100%. I'll actually go to Dylan with that. Do you think that there's anything that Konami can do that would make the issues resolved? Like, if you were the Konami president, and I'll ask Kemi afterwards, like, if you were the Konami president, like, what would you do if someone told you that? Like, what would your first implementation be as president?
I think you'd have to obviously like take a poll and see what the big concern is, because that it could just be very general. I mean, the surrender thing could be probably huge about that, because I would hate to like have to sit through an infinite loop and like take damage, like especially if it's like a small burn one or something, and just sit there and have to do their infinite loop to do like burn damage or anything like that. So I guess if you surrendering is a faster way to do that, but limiting the card pool too, which I think they seem to do well on. I can't really speak on OCG lists.
Yeah, I don't really speak on OCG lists either. And I do know that the surrendering was more due to the live streaming, but I think they said that the players being retained was low because of the complication between like stepping between like a faster paced game like Master Duel, where it's like one game you're kind of like in and out. You can play it when you're on the like, you know, bus to work, or, you know, on your car or something like that, to playing like a 45-minute 3-game round where you have to actually deck build and like, you know, side deck comes into consideration, time rules, you know what I'm saying? Like,
it tells you when your effects.
Correct. Yeah, there's no screen to pop up and tell you your effects.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like, hey, you could do this.
So like exactly. So not
so that goes into
the.
No, I was saying that goes right into the complexity of the language of the game barrier, because it's a lot easier to hop on Master Duel and it say, hey, you can do this here, instead of having to remember in person. If you're new, especially, like, I can do this here.
So what would you do as far as like, do you think like, because you play other card games as far as like Bandai games, One Piece, Digimon, Pokemon, where they kind of have like more, I wouldn't say easier card text, but they have, what do you call it? Like,
it's universal for the effects and like.
Yeah, universal effects. So
like there's no A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. Like, usually that shit's all pretty universal. I think that also comes to just age of the game too, just because 25 years of writing shit and changing shit, evolving is a lot different than the 3 to 5 year game. So I totally get that side of it.
What about you, Kemi? If you were the Konami president and someone had said that, hey, your views are down and your retention for the game from online to in paper, which is going to make you the most money, is down, what would your reaction or solution be?
That's an impossibly hard question to answer, to be honest.
So do you blame the president for giving that cookie cutter band-aid answer?
I mean, I don't, because Yu-Gi-Oh is so damn complicated. Like, I've been playing this Rika deck for 4 years now, and I recently read one of my cards. I'm like, wait, it had that effect? I just didn't know. And read the card. So what I'm trying to say is the game is just in a state where it's so complicated, where you can actually teach someone the basics, right? You can get like, the really cheap starter decks, like the Egyptian God starter decks, give them to a couple people. They can learn how to play in maybe 15, 20 minutes, right? But when you throw in all the lingo with every single card that has a paragraph of text, a wall of text, and then you got the when effects, the if effects, missing timing, rulings, chain links, all that fun stuff, it gets so confusing really fast, and I think that's one of the biggest things that deters people from the game. And I've seen that OCG's been experimenting with, Rush Duel. I'm not sure what the numbers are in terms of their sales are, but I think that's the right direction if you want to get people into mainframe Yu-Gi-Oh! But honestly, the game's to the point where it's way too complicated to really get new players in. We're only here because, we're seasoned players, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't know how to solve that problem, to be honest.
Because some people argue that you obviously changed the game to make it more easier. You have a simplified card text where it would say quick effect instead of things like during either player's turn,
Right, but the only way to fix that is like a rotation or something, and that's just like
Right.
And that takes away
insanity.
from like the uniqueness of Yu-Gi-Oh, which is if I bought a card in fucking 2002, theoretically, if I wanted to play that card in 2022, I could have. You know what I'm saying? Or if I want to play it in 2042, I should be able to. You know what I'm saying? So like, I agree with not having a set rotation because I hate a set rotation. That's why I don't play games like Pokemon, Digimon, where they have set rotations and you're only allowed to play the certain sets that have come out. But that's just me personally, and I think that other people would agree that this game is very fast paced, but that's why we love it. Like I know for a fact that
Mm-hmm.
when I first started learning the game and I first saw what a synchro monster was or an XYZ monster was, I was like, damn, what is that? I don't remember that. And someone says, well, you make this by overlaying two monsters, or you make this by having a tuner and a non-tuner, but the levels got to add up. And like, yeah, it's a lot to take in, but like I was like eager to learn how to go about, making it. It's like I didn't run from that fact. So I just think that honestly, that the OCG is a bunch of bitches. That they just need to step up and learn the fucking game, and put the time in to actually be good. Like get good, scrubs. You
Hey,
know what I'm
see
saying? But
this?
that's
He said
just me.
skill
Play
issue.
it.
Skill issue.
But
I mean,
that's just me personally.
unless you're just not smart enough to play Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, that's the only reason why you'd be quitting. You just got their lines like that out.
I got a thought. So there's one thing that Konami's been doing, which is a gigantic step forward in the right direction. Time Wizard formats. Edison and Go are taking off like crazy. And they don't even have to make new cards. They just have to reprint older cards because people are like, oh man, back in my day, back in 2006, I used to play old school Yu-Gi-Oh! Where, you played Delinquent Duo and all the crazy cards. I used to play Pot of Greed, right? Or you have Edison, which is like kind of like the beginning of the synchro format, which is a lot of fun. Super diverse. A lot of people like it, and it's way simpler than modern Yu-Gi-Oh! So if they push that more, that could potentially help. But the issue with that is you're not printing any new cards. Those are all for like that niche set of players that want to play those specific formats. So they would just have to reprint a lot of cards. But it is a step forward, in my opinion.
No, I agree. I think what I was gonna say was that what I saw in a Farfer stream was that someone was saying or mentioned the idea of streaming the side events or streaming something like the Edison event that happened at Nationals. But it was a huge Edison event that happened that our boy Dan got top 8 at. So shout outs again to Dan Vrabel. And he was like undefeated, I think, in Swiss out of like the hundreds of people that were in the tournament, and no one even knew about it. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't get reported or anything like that. It was probably like on a written article, but like that's not real promotion for such a big event. If that was something on stream that like as maybe the big tables were getting changed for like the next round, like the Addison tournament was getting streamed or something like that would be something I think that would bring streaming in more. If you had like the rivalry of warlords for people who don't know what that format is, all right, we'll stream a match, like show it like what it's like to play a deck that you have just learned 15 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? I think that those would be like cool. Interview the player before they go on, and then before they get the deck, I would say, and then interview them after the game. Like, whether they learned something, they had fun, whether this is like, this is a shit deck, I don't really like this deck, or like this was intricate, I might pick this deck up somehow in the future and like play it. I think that if they streamed at these sides event, they might be able to bring up these views and these like at least the online presence of these like bigger tournaments.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. It gives like the common player like hope, that you can make it or you can be famous or be on stream or whatever for playing Edison or playing Rivalry. So I think it's a good idea. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I agree 100%. And I understand that it's a very, very tough decision to make, like at being the president of a game that wants to morally do well, but needs to, meet its overhead and has to hit its numbers. So like it's a kind of a tug of war between what's financially feasible and then what can we actually do. So these little things I just think will nudge in a more positive direction. And or even having something like a tutor at a local, someone who's officially Konami certified, who's there to just teach people about the game. Like their whole job the entire tournament is to teach the kids who are interested in playing the game about playing it. You start something with vanilla monsters and spells and traps, and then you work to like maybe a couple effect monsters, and then like you just have classes. Like I don't think that there's anything that's around at an OTS besides locals, and that's only if someone who's at your locals is gracious enough or, you know, has the ability to teach as well as, you know, give a fuck about these new players who are even coming in. Because I know there's players at our locals who, if another player misplays, they'll just shut their mouth and let the player misplay and like bank on this lesser duelist coming out and, you know, doing what they do best and getting nervous and, you know, choked up and making a mistake. So and then there's people at our locals who will be like, you know what, you probably shouldn't do that. Maybe take that back. What you should hit is this card because it'll do this, or it's pivotal to, like, you know, instead of don't ask the branded opening, ask the branded fusion type deal. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brendan who always uses that reference. But there is this, you know, a big tie. So if we had more people, or even someone who was like Konami affiliated, who was at these tournaments teaching instead of just, I don't know, quote unquote judging or just being involved with the tournament itself, it might bring more people in at a younger stage where they're more impressionable and more into learning about the game instead of being fearful of the game.
No, I totally agree with you. Unplugged does something like that where they have the like come learn to play day, but I mean it depends who's representing there. Like you said, like the teacher. So I mean, like you could have like that small class, but I don't know if like who would be willing to offer that, you know. And if you want to get at that at your own time, like there are people online to teach you how to play for money, but
yeah, they're coaches, but like
yeah.
realistically, coaches aren't always taking every single client. They take the clients that obviously they want to pick. So like, let's just say if player A, who has zero experience and just wants to learn the game, wants to go to like a renowned player like Hani, who has, you know, the ability to teach me like the ins and outs and like the complications of it. But then someone like I don't know, just to say someone like Jesse Cotton's like, Hani, I want to play test with you right now. I mean, is he going to choose to teach someone to play the game or get better himself? Like I would get better myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get to the best of my ability. That's why I don't teach unless it's to someone who I can take on as a student. But that's just me personally. I believe that you can't always rely on others. It's like, it's grateful that we have people like that in our locals, like Pagan, for instance, who will literally hand a person a meta deck if they have the will to play, like little Lewis, you know what I'm saying, like little Louis. So we definitely look out for, you know, the locals and shit, but like not every locals has a Pagan, not every locals has a me, not every locals has a Ryan App who just knows intricate rulings and shit like that. So there's always times where I think that there's someone who should be Konami affiliated, or even if they're paid, like you guys make enough money, fuck your overheads, like get the game going. You know, if you paid someone who stayed around and actually like showed classes or like gave a fuck if Konami promoted it or something like that, I think it'd be like something that they could do realistically that might get them more people at a younger age, which would retain the game or the love for it and not be feared, and actually turn into people who are playing later on in their, like, you know, their years.
They could just always go back to their old method of sending videotapes in the mail for people to learn.
Oh my god, this motherfucker, this guy.
It seemed to work the first time.
So you want to duel? I mean, but look at Dragon Duelists, dog. Dragon Duelists are fucking phenomenal. I was at Nationals and I was watching those guys, and those kids were doing full like Kashtira combos. They were playing fucking branded. They were playing Sprite Runic Fur Hire. Like, those are intricate decks, and these like 11, 12-year-olds are like really going into it. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's crazy to see how like they can retain the information, because like you can just see that at the Dragon Duelists, like these guys are like intricate players. Like they would mop up half the people in the main event. So like, it's not that they can't, it can't happen, but it's like they probably had like a dad, or they went to a locals and they had a good group of people who were like, all right, well, this is what you do, this is how you get better, and like it just takes time. And I don't think that's something that Konami should have rely on its player base to do. It's something that they should take the initiative to do.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be lovely. I feel like that's really resource heavy, and that's probably why they don't do that.
Yeah, but fuck the resources, dog.
But like in a perfect world, if they're gonna do something like that, they have to like make it worth the while to come out to those events and learn.
I mean, but if you're gonna put it out anyway and hold it in these extravagant ass venues, like, then put in a how to play. Like, I don't know. That's just my own gripe with it personally. There's a lot of things they could do. But even if it isn't a financial gain, they should still do it for the longevity of the company and the card game itself that people are invested in. Like, what if Konami just up and bankrupted right now? Like, we would all lose the game that we all thoroughly enjoy. This hobby keeps us, afloat. So, and for some people financially, some people also mentally. And some people just spiritually, like the nostalgia of the game, like being able to activate my Celtic Guardian, my favorite card, or having the ability to play it still is nostalgic. Like that, I do a lot for nostalgia as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like just general, but I just don't think that they're playing to it.
Yeah, I feel like they try to do the nostalgia bait. Like, how many times have they printed, Dark Magician and Blue Eye support in the past, 4 years?
Yeah, like every fucking year, dog. They like every other set has got something in it. Red Eyes just got support in the last one, and in Dune there is Red Eyes support.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the new Red Eyes card came out in Dune. It's like a super.
Let me read this card. That sounds wild.
Yo, look it up.
Yeah, it plays off that Meteor Dragon fusion card. I think it's like Red Eyes Meteor Black Dragon or some shit. Again, nostalgia too.
Yeah, it's some crazy main deck shit. Yeah, 100%. They just drop it. They just sprinkle that shit in. Like Dave Chappelle said, just sprinkle it in on them.
Wait, this card is busted. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it like level manipulates and then summons itself and then does something else too.
Yeah, it summons itself for free by dumping a card from your deck for cost.
Yeah, so Magician
increases
Souls.
his level by 1, so it's a 7. And then you can banish it from the graveyard to add a Red Eyes Fusion from your deck or graveyard to your hand. That's kind of busted.
Yeah. So they just sprinkle these shits in, so they're proving to your point that they definitely cater to the casual players.
Oh, they do. And then Dark Magician, actually. I don't remember if this was recent, but I don't know if it was during tier format where a Dark Magician player won a regionals or top 8'd. I don't remember what it was, but it was crazy.
No, I mean, I think even someone like Team Samurai X1 takes his Dark Magician deck to locals and still does pretty well, you know what I'm saying? The cards that they make for them is crazy. It's funny because we have a shout out to Ian. He is known as Seto Kaiba because he's just diehard Blue Eyes fan. And every time I play against him, it's crazy because he's always playing this shit at locals, and it's like the definition of an anime card. Like I was playing against like Twin Burst Dragon, fucking Tyrant Burst Dragon, the fucking Blue Eyes Ultimate Alternative Dragon, whatever the fuck name it was, that pops 3 cards that he hard made. It literally popped 3 fucking cards and does like piercing damage. It's like they're all anime cards. Dark Dragoon is a fucking anime card. Like all these shits are just crazy cards that they're just making for the nostalgic legacy players. Like, don't stop playing Dark Magician, please. We'll give you Dragoon. Don't stop playing Blue Eyes. We're gonna give you this cool fusion monster. Please don't stop playing Red Eyes. We're gonna give you an extender and a fucking searcher for your fusion. I guarantee it's lit.
All right, listen, we had to take out Anaconda. We couldn't keep him in, but please just say.
Like, for real.
Dude, Anaconda was busted, bro.
It was
insane.
It was. But I honestly don't think Verite would be as feasible in today's format. Maybe it would be, maybe it's not. Maybe that's ignorant speaking, but I don't know. Everyone kind of folds on everything else. I don't think they're playing the bricks in the deck anymore. Every engine is pretty concise.
I just think it's wild where, like, you've played through a million interruptions, they nib you, you turn the nib token into a Link Spider, then you summon literally any other card, and you have a Dragoon in the field.
Yeah, that's
after
fair.
your opponent dropped like 4 hand traps on you. That's wild.
But people aren't really playing hand traps right now. A lot of them are switched more to board breakers. So it's like, all right, this Dark Ruler is going to smack anyway. So go ahead and make your Verite. You're like, go ahead and pay 2,000 life points. I'm just going to take your Dragoon and link off with it or use its effect to pop you. Talents is in the format. Thrust is in the format. There's definitely board breakers that are being played right now that are, who gives a fuck about a Dragoon? You know what I'm saying? That's just me personally. When branded players play Dragoon, I'm just like, all right, cool. Activate Scareclaw. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm just impartial of it. So there's definitely ways to get around it. But just, I don't know. I just say that there's there's hope for him to come back. I don't say it's lost for Verte. He might come back eventually. The shifter, this card's like Rise Heart in the format. You're not even gonna be able to resolve underneath it. Macro Cosmo, D-Fissure, like there's ways that stop it. Not to say that we should bring it back, but
I don't know. Can that card be in
No.
the format with Branded? Are we sure? Is that?
It was in the format where Branded was a wee little lad. Wee little lad.
Oh, OG Branded?
Yeah,
I
OG
remember those
Branded when it
days.
was just a Luber at $170.
We all miss those days.
Yeah, those are the days.
Yeah, right.
Those are the days.
Speaking of core sets and shit, speaking into the next topic, we have Dune, as you guys have heard from the sneak peek and everything. So I just wanted to talk about the new decks that we might be able to see at locals, at a regional level, maybe even at a YCS level. I need a lot of the people in the upstate area know that Millennium Games is doing a regional, so this might be the time to kind of start getting your notepad and pen out and start jotting down some notes as to what you might be able to see out there.
No, so just the new Synchro deck support that's coming out. A couple good stuff in the secret rare level 2 for that. Revolution Synchron.
I think it's the level 3, but yeah, Revolution Synchron.
Yeah, like great. Crimson Dragon is good. I think this deck's gonna start popping off, and then after it gets its last set of support, hopefully it could become another top dog from that storyline. Is my hope.
The synchro support in there is insane. Like Crimson Dragon, I think Ian was showing me the gameplay or the lines of play for Super Heavy Samurai to be able to bring out the Hot Red Calamities or King Red Calamities, whatever the fuck it is, and it just is basically a turn skip. So the turn it's summon, you just can't activate shit, and like you just set your cards and you pass, and then hope for the best. And it's like insane, like that Crimson allows that to even exist. So like the combos and the lines of play are definitely there. So the boost for Synchro is 100% imminent. I think that you can also see decks like maybe Pirelli, Albert has been really big on Rescue Ace. So is Josh. They're really big on this. Like they're scheming. They're really in the lab with it. Infernoble for shout outs to Andy Wyatt. They're getting their Link Monster and a whole bunch of support. Like that's definitely something you're gonna be able to see. What about you, Akemi? What do you think you might be able to see at even like a local level? You might think.
Honestly, I'm terrified of the synchro stuff because a turn skip is super scary.
It is,
and it's so pretty easy to pull off. Where nowadays I kind of have to main deck roll now, and
shifter.
Even with the turn skip, a lot of people are on. If you can't play shifter, you have to play super poly.
Yeah.
So during your draw phase, you just super poly the guys off, so they can't pull off Calamity because you have turn player priority. But other than that, I think it's cool that we're in a format where I just have to play board breakers again instead of Ash and stuff like that. And like I said before, Joel's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I agree. The only reason I even play Ash is just to respect Branded. Like I don't even like activating Ash to trigger cards like Thrust or trigger cards like Tactics to get another card out of my hand ripped or to give my opponent a +2 for no reason. I don't know. I just would prefer board breakers, and that's why I'm utilizing the Go Second version of Cash with a whole bunch of just Thrust targets at 1 and Prosperity Thrust to be able to dig whatever card I want at the deck at any point in time. So, I mean, I can agree with you there. There a bunch of decks are going to be out there, too. Even trap decks like Altergeist get another card. Josh has picked up a core for like $10 from Barry, so shout-outs to Barry for letting that evil out into the local scene. I don't know what the fuck he's going to plot up, but Josh is definitely going to plot something with that deck, I guarantee it. So, I mean, a lot of decks were getting boosted that you might just see even at like an OTS championship, a regional. You're still going to see Cash, you're still going to see Branded. Vanquish Soul is still going to be a thing. You're still going to have to see the Runic cards.
Too.
Unchained, yeah, it got support 100%. Yep, and they got support in the OTS packs too. So Konami was really feeling them and blessing them this set. So
got a little fan service too.
There's definitely the synchro rotation for sure. No, I agree. And still cards like Rise Heart will still be in the format. Kashtira, I think, will go out probably for the next couple months. And I think the only hit that we'll get is probably Unicorn to 1. And I hope that they do something with Birth because I actually have a replacement for Birth. If they get rid of Fenrir, there's not a lot of replacing Fenrir. I guarantee you that. So, or especially a Rise Heart. If they ban my boy a Rise Heart, bro, just put the nail in the coffin. I got 3 Starlights. Like, what the fuck?
Dude, they're not gonna ban a Rise Star, dude. I'll put money on that.
You say that, but they could. They banned Kiklos.
No.
So, and that was a beloved card.
Dude, ridiculous is like a custom card, bro. That's like a card you would make in this Orca editors.
That's an anime
It's
card,
so
huh?
ridiculous.
It's an anime fucking card.
It's so ridiculous.
Do everything I wanted to do, and then some. Go,
Dude, I'd be like, dude, that format is so annoying. You'd have like the best hand trap in your hand, and you're cooking, and they're like, "I have instant fusion." I'm like, bro, I lose.
You ash the Sheeran, you fucking imperm the Reinhardt. You know what I'm saying? The first mill off the Guido was trash, and you're like, all right, yeah, I got everything I need, combos in hand, and then they just hit you with the instant fusion, and you're like, damn. All
man,
that
it hurts
just to
so much.
fucking lose. I hated it. I didn't like it. That's why I activate Shifter.
I personally
Yeah, that's
love
why
it.
we're on birds. That's why we're on birds.
Yeah, right.
What's good about this set too is it's pretty cheap right now, even so close to pre-release. I don't know if you're looking at prices, but like all the secrets are like almost 10 and under besides Revolution Synchron. I think that's the only
Yeah.
one that's like 50 bones, as they might say.
I think that's more along the lines of Konami's business plans on inserting those quarter century rares for the secret and ultra slots. Like it really does give a higher rarity, quote unquote, for people to chase after. So where like the secret's like, I don't even want to play with you. You know what I'm saying? Like to my
Just throw it
aspect,
away.
like in my anecdote, I know Devon is just looking for Lars. He's looking for the new XYZ for the dinos, and he's okay with just getting a secret rare. Where my bougie ass bought max rated dinos for a reason. So although I don't like the quarter century,
He took
I gotta
that
go get that
$10
bitch.
bam bam thank you ma'am, and you just had to get the upgrade.
Devon's a little cheap slut. So I'm a little bit more bougie with my pinky out when I play my dinosaur cards. So I think that may be the reason for it. Plus, like a lot of these cards, like you said, are more for like certain archetypes. So I feel like people who already play those archetypes already have those like decks ready to go. So it's as simple as, all right, I knew this card was coming out. Let me just slip this card into the deck now because I've been playing with it, hopefully, or play testing with it. I'm not just going to a locals like the rest of you guys who are listening and trying to figure your decks out at a fucking locals, because that's not the time. The time is before you go to a locals. You go to locals to actually test out your shit when you're listening.
No, that's cool.
And that's actually me, though. I'm not gonna lie.
No, see,
It's
I'm
everybody.
talking to you, Kemi.
It's everybody. Oh god.
Dude, y'all read?
Most of them don't. You know what's funny? Barry be
I don't
saying
read.
Barry be saying RTFC, which means read the fucking card. Every time you'll hear someone say, "Yo, can this card do this?" and you'll just hear Barry in the background go RTFC, and it's fucking hysterical.
Barry says that, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So now that we're quoting Barry, I think that it's time to be closing out.
Yeah, we just lost our life points there, guys. We're running out of time.
Yeah, so just to close out, appreciate everyone who's been listening so far. Shout out to everyone clicking on those links and showing us love. Speaking of Dune, I have in my hands right now a box of Dune Dueling Nexus from the sneak peek, given it to us by our sponsors over at Unplugged Gaming over in Manlius, New York. So we'll be giving this out, as I said earlier, on our Twitter account, which is at semi_limited. So go there, follow us, because we're not gonna give it away to someone who's not following. And then I'm gonna put out a tweet, or I'll probably have maybe Felton put out a tweet, and we'll have a picture of it, and you can just retweet that and follow us to be able to get entered into it. And I'll mail it out to you. If it's local, I'll hand deliver it to you. I'll make sure Galone Wolf drives it out to you if it comes down to what, we're going to make sure that you guys get what we are talking about, because you guys are showing so much love. So
Dog. It's X now. It's no longer Twitter.
whatever the fuck. What, AKA Twitter.
So if you post a video, is it X video? If you post a video?
Elon
Hold
made
on.
the rules, bro. I
Hold
didn't make
on.
these rules.
Say, yo, hold on. I think he's on to something right quick, though. So,
Follow those X's, guys. That's all we're saying.
yeah, all the X's.
Once we get 50 X's, we'll be giving a nice little giveaway.
Yeah, so be sure to go down there, click on and follow all the social medias and all that stuff. And Also, go down there because I will be linking Akemi's YouTube down in the description box below for you to go there and enjoy his channel. Like I said, go check out his shorts. They're fucking phenomenal. You will definitely laugh and share them to at least 2 friends. I guarantee it. That is a semi-limited Player X guarantee. And I'll also be linking it down there for you. So go subscribe to him. And you have any shout outs or anything you want to plug in before we close out there, Kemi?
Yeah, again, one more time, shout outs to everybody at Alpha Omega in Quincy. I love all of you guys, and keep doing what you do.
Yeah, as he said, I definitely support everything this guy does. So that's why we brought him on here to give his retrospect on most of these issues or topics that we would be discussing normally. So without further ado, thank you for listening. I am Player X.
And I'm the Galone Wolf.
And we together are the Semi-Limited Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It was a bullshit ass riff.